Hello to you all, dear brothers and sisters, and I hope you all have had a beautiful day in the mind, body, and spirit through God the Father, Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit at work within you. Stop feeding off of earthly sustenance. And no, I'm not referring to food or things that are actually vital for our survival, our physical survival, that is. I'm referring to the mental and spiritual sustenance that the world gives. I'm talking about that worldly entertainment that we feed our brains to day and night. I'm talking about those worldly activities that may have no relation to God whatsoever, those wild parties, the binge watching, all of those unproductive things that we tend to do, whether it's to waste time, whether it's to embellish in sin, whichever it may be. If it's not for God, then it's against Him. Apologies for that. And we need to understand that. Okay? Just here a couple of days ago, I even had to apologize to the Lord, saying, I'm sorry for feeding on the wrong sustenance. And I used that analogy for food. I used that analogy of food to describe what I was doing. Because I found myself being heavily reliant on things like YouTube, gaming, and everything like that to get me by. It's like I needed it just to sustain a level of sanity. I needed that in order to sustain my survival. And that's not at all the condition I should be in. Excuse me. That should not be my primary source of nutrients, if at all. And so I had to apologize to the Lord for doing such a thing. And it's funny because not too long after, I flipped to Isaiah 55 in the Bible, and it reads, Is anyone thirsty? Come and drink, even if you have no money. Come, take your choice of wine or milk, it's all free. Why spend your money on food that does not give you strength? Why pay for food that does you no good? Listen to me, and you will eat what is good. You will enjoy the finest food. And of course, the Holy One of Israel is saying this. Of course, the God of heaven's armies is saying this. Come to me with your ears wide open. Listen, and you will find life. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. I will give you all the unfailing love I promised to David. See how I used him to display my power among the peoples. I made him a leader among the nations. You will also command nations you do not know, and peoples unknown to you will come running to obey, because I, the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, have made you glorious. It's like that was an automatic response to the way I was analyzing and using food as an analogy to represent what I was doing. Because when I'm watching YouTube, of course, I get entertained by the videos that I watch, depending on which ones that I like. But the problem was when I was using that as a main source or as a primary source for my intake. That should not take up the majority of my day, playing games, watching YouTube, doing all of this unproductivity. That should not take up the majority of my day. It shouldn't. You know, I have more responsibility than this. And I should be doing more than just watching YouTube and playing games all day. I was feeding on the wrong substance. I was feeding on the wrong sustenance. And so this is more of a mindset change. Like I said, this is spiritual and mental sustenance. Let this change your mindset to not feed on worldly entertainment, to not feed on things of the world, but to feed on the Word. Let that be your main source of nutrients. The Bible describes sin as poison so much throughout the Bible. You'll see it in Numbers, you'll see it in Deuteronomy, Job, Psalms, Proverbs. I at least have confidence in Proverbs. Proverbs will give you some wisdom. I'm sure you'll see it in James. All sorts of stuff like that. You'll see that the Bible uses an analogy of poison to describe sin. And you know what else can be poisonous? food, drinks. And so when you feed on worldly sustenance, that can be poisonous to your body. That can be poisonous to your spirit. That can be poisonous to your mind. So I want to ask you this. What are you feeding on the most? And is it poisonous? Or is it healthy for your body? I love you all so much, and I'll see you all on the next video. I hope this gave you a good analogy, a good reminder, and a good message to focus on the Lord, to put your focus on Him. Let Him be the primary source of your nutrients. Let Him be the primary source of what you feed on. Because if you feed on the things of the world, you will grow poisonous. You will grow bitter. You'll find yourself being detached and restrained from the Lord. You'll find yourself departing from Him. And this isn't an instantaneous process. You know, the poison doesn't have a level of potency that the Lord cannot overcome. That's far from it. But we do make the choice ourselves to back away from Him as we continue to abide by the ways of sin. So I want this to be a wake-up call for some and a reminder for others to just stay on guard. Keep in mind what you are focusing on throughout the majority of your day, and feed on the correct sustenance. Feed on the Word. Use the Word as your nutrients. Prayer as your nutrients. Seek the Lord in all that you do, and He will make your path straight. I'll see you all on the next video. You will have a good one. Peace out.